They haven't had great marketing. We hired 2 influencers, one for $250, one for $150.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, the ROI on this is
Insane. Their social media looks so much better now. It was a lot of stuff. That's what it was called.
They were doing a lot of stuff. It was painful.
Yeah.
But this is the starting negotiation. I want to emphasize that. It can go up pretty quick depending on the deliverables, but when people see this, they go, this is Joker business. I'm just throwing money at some person and no one's going to see this. This is a starting point, but the ROI, whether we're talking about direct sales or direct engagement with your recycling program, or whatever you're trying to get people to do, when you're walking away with video content, but here's the thing that I'm talking about today and emphasizing, Nicole's emphasizing her mine, is trust. When you're paying these rates to reinforce trust with a target demographic because a human is being your wingman or wingwoman, and talking about programs that they're just glazing and ignoring, they got the latest flyer at First Fridays and threw it away, didn't even see what you were talking about. What did you spent more than that on printouts. Mm-hmm. But for a good mom blogger who has a lot of trust to say, hey, listen, this is what's happening, you've got to pay attention to, and for that to stick. This is, to me, a no-brainer. This is why we partnered 2 years ago, because the results, I could bring clients in the form of trust, but all the other material wins as well. It became a no-brainer, and I wasn't getting chintzy stuff for this. I was getting real results. I just wanted to call that.
Yeah.
What do we got here?
We're wrapping up.
What do you need?
If you guys want to do this on your own, there are tools that you're going to need. Make sure that you have a contract in place. Okay? There's no like, hey, when are you going to post? And it's just email. We need to get a contract in place. They're a contractor, depending on how much you pay them. But no matter who you work with, I'm sure you guys have a legal department. So contracts, a creator brief. I was talking about like planning your campaign. Make sure the creator brief shares your mission, shares the key talking points, shares the initiatives that you have for this marketing campaign so that they can educate themselves and be able to come to the table and make sure to speak intelligently about service, product, the campaign in general. Having a tracker and staying organized, you can get overwhelmed really quickly if you're reaching out to influencers. You're like, who did I talk to? Where were they? Just get a spreadsheet out and start, tracking and making sure you keep that organized. And then I said cold pitch emails and response emails. A lot of times you're reaching out to influencers through email. Just having a template that just introduces you, tell them, you'd like to talk to them more, and then plan a Zoom call. It's all very traditional business stuff, but sometimes when you think with influencers, you're like, I don't really know what I'm supposed to do. I think the biggest thing is having your campaign ready to go so you can share and explain it to them. And then again, if you guys want to get these slides, because I know we kind of went quick earlier, just QR code that, and then.
Do we have any time for questions? Any questions?
Yeah, I know we usually ask more questions or get more questions in.
What are your thoughts on using an employee who is an influencer to help with your brand? Are there pitfalls there? We've been hesitant to do it with longevity.
One, this is coming up more and more. You see more, I'll say more and more retail brands, people in the store and they're sharing. I think if you put a contract in place that outlines what they can or can't say, and you guys just have a very clear understanding of that, and maybe let's do this for 4 weeks, or let's try this for 6 weeks while we're talking about certain initiatives that you have. So I just think as long as it's outlined, then you should absolutely do that.
But if I may offer a nuance there. Oftentimes people want to go this route because they want to control the message. If you can avoid that and you have a bias towards, I want to know, the goal here, I hate this word now, authenticity. I can't stand this word right now, but I don't have a better one. We do want authentic reactions, and so yes, have this contract, yes, have your rules, but have a bias towards a sincere interaction of some kind, even with that employee. Why you like working here? What are some of the challenges? Or whatever that thing is. Yes, but have a bias towards a sincere interaction. If you're concerned that you won't get a sincere interaction because of whatever employment dynamics going on, then I encourage you to seek someone outside of the company for an authentic interaction with your brand. But we love it and we encourage it, especially with our small business owners. We have this pest control company, and God bless them, they're some good old boys, and they'll get on camera, and they feel awkward, and one's, he's been on a GLP, he's very public about it, he's lost a lot of weight, so his clothes are loose on him, and he's willing to get on camera. He was so self-conscious. I'm like, no, let's go. Why? Because it's the authentic. I'm not people know I didn't generate this with AI, my guy.
Yeah.
Like, let's go. And so if the key word there is sincere, I think. If you can do that internally
Yeah.
all day long.
Yeah.
If you can't, go outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so at our last meeting, I was talking about Lake Wells is becoming like a wedding destination, like more than 200 couples are coming through there getting married annually. And,
Lock Tower, okay.
and we're starting to put up we're redesigning a hotel, an iconic like a hotel, and so we wanna make sure that it stays full, so we have a need for a wedding influencer. We're also building a regional, if not, large BMX park in the southeast.
Ooh.
That we'd like to engage an influencer in
Yeah.
to kind of create hype about that. So when we talk about measuring their analytics, once you tee us up with those people, is it our responsibility to work with them to grab those analytics, or how does that relationship work?
If you work with an agency like ours, we steward that. You know,
Yeah.
like we make sure that it's open, middle, and close. Like we set the expectation, we manage the relationship, we gather the
But
final
are you
words.
referencing like the KPI data points, like so that, because a lot of that's done with software or like Meta Business Suite, you can manage the partnership through that, so you can pull reports and get actual numbers to say this many people saw, so there's both sides of that, yeah, like,
Okay,
yeah, definitely managing the process, but also reporting is really important, I'm sure, to everybody, and so, that is set up in the beginning, and we define that, like, what do we really want out of the campaign, like Parker Street Ministries, her biggest thing really was, I need to grow this email list, so we made sure that campaign had that at the forefront, right, and so it really does depend on like, what are the exact things that we really want to see, measure of success for you, and that's how we put that together, and then of course, regular reporting of numbers, reach, engagement, all that is included because it's generated from the post.
Did we understand your question accurately?
yeah, do you offer free consultations, cause like right now, we're in the budgeting season,
Yeah.
and we're prepping for next year.
Yeah, let's get
next
on a
fiscal
call,
year.
let's drive over and visit your recycling program. No, I'm just kidding.
She's right here.
Yeah, we'll set it up and we'll just hear through what you're doing. Absolutely, absolutely. Good question. Anyone else?
Anybody
we're
learn
solid.
anything today?
Yeah.
All right, you got questions?
So I'm interested that the term influencer has stuck around for so long,
Yeah.
because it's evolved
Yeah.
for us. And so content creators has kind of come into play too. Do you get any pushback or feelings when you're having these conversations with people who may be thinking about influencers from like one of the early stages that were a little cringe?
Yeah, what's been some of your experience with that? A little bit?
Oh,
little
the
bit?
stigma,
The stigma.
the cringe, yeah, man, I have teens, so I hear the word cringe all the time.
Yeah. 2 years ago, literally, it was as recent as 2 years, from my outside view.
Yeah,
2 years ago, we really saw a major slump. We started Influencer Academy about a year ago, and the first month it went off like gangbusters, like it was nuts. But it like fell off immediately. And so we were kind of like, "Ooh, what's going on here?" Then they started using content creators, but just from a marketing perspective, that's more syllables, right? People are like, I'm not saying this anymore. And now we've seen a resurgence of the term. So I'm seeing that people aren't afraid of the term anymore. It's kind of shaken free, especially when you're starting to see ROI numbers or better engagement numbers. And the word has evolved. So I haven't seen it, but you've had far more experiences on this.
because there are so many different ways just to say that somebody's an influencer or content creator, and there's really no other differentiation. If you're an influencer, you are a content creator in both. So I'm not noticing anymore because I think real people are making money on TikTok Shop or TikTok, and so they're seeing it as a more as soon as there's money there, and you could say, hey, I just made a career, or you can go on LinkedIn and look for a TikTok Shop host. When those things are legitimized, there you go. In corporate America, I think that it's a little bit harder to kind of throw the influencer term around in a negative light when these are real jobs in the industry, and you can go on Indeed or LinkedIn right now, and that's why Southeastern has supported us launching the influencer marketing minor, because I'm not teaching students how to be content creators, I'm teaching them the business of influencer marketing, which is like, do you know how to talk, like the relationship side, do you know how to talk to influencers, but also do you know how to negotiate contracts, do you know how to work with brands and create marketing campaigns. That's the side that is $1 billion industry, and so no, that was cringe, and I'm not seeing that as much anymore, as
And it's
money
matured.
behind it.
The industry has matured, like it's nobody's business. And by that, like we were watching, her teens were watching one of their favorite YouTube creators, and we were watching this going, this is junk.
Yeah,
What
it was like
these-
junk food.
It was the worst, but they do fall under the category because they were acting literally insane, but they had brand deals. So it's like, they do that because it does hit a certain audience. I don't think we can fathom the full scope. When I say trust is in free fall, what everyone needs to hear, marketing is in free fall. Marketing is in free fall, and what's replacing it is this thing that now we're defaulting to calling influencer work, and now it's becoming institutionalized as a term. I think we saw global budgets for influencer is on a mega rise. Certain companies are narrowing their budgets on individuals because they're finding a balance, but they're realizing that influencers the umbrella term, and then they have a nuanced conversation. Are we talking to about a mom blogger? Are we talking about a content creator? What are we talking about? And so that's when the nuance starts to happen. So we've seen the industry mature,
Yeah.
I think, in the last 2 or 3 years. Yes.
So two things.
Yeah.
One of the things that fascinate me on social media is people who eat food.
I know, I love that.
Mukbang.
So like, yeah, is that what it's
It's
called?
called mukbang. Yeah.
Is that an acronym for something?
No, that's just a Korean term.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I love seafood,
Mhm.
and so my algorithm now is throwing more
Oh, yeah.
lobster, crab,
Yeah.
crab.
It's all interest based now. Yeah.
It's
So,
like,
you gotta retrain it. What else do you like? Start putting
Yeah.
some other search
how
terms
are
in
these
there.
people getting these gigs to eat king crab legs? And I'm
Yeah.
That's question number one.
Yeah.
And question number two, we want to build up our visibility.
Yeah.
We as in the Dick Poke chapter of
Yeah.
FPRA. So how can we become the go-to for influencers, you know, so that we're building up our reputation as a chapter, an organization?
Do you want to handle both of those? One of those, the other?
First one, the way foodie bloggers get started is they go in and they have to pay for the food, and then they start creating content. They start by doing, and then they build an audience, and then restaurants are one of the first businesses that will be like, hey, I'll give you free food for content, and they got a lot of leverage there, and that's just really, and then all of a sudden, worked with a lot of foodie bloggers, now they're paying them to come in because they're making really good content. So just start by doing, if you really wanted to be a foodie blogger.
Yeah.
Hey, no, Sav and Boozy?
Or
They're local, Sav and Boozy?
Oh, yes.
Savannah.
Yeah.
Savannah,
Okay.
fantastic. She evolved.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like date night locations and food, but now it's like fitness. And,
That's right.
And you see that evolution.
So you've evolved into some of what your thing is. And if you're into mukbang, if anyone knows what mukbang is, it's like they do the ASMR microphone
Yes.
and they're just like going to town. It's too much for me.
The
So,
slurps.
good on you.
That's not a. It's
Do you want to handle the second question
party
on how they can? Okay. So for helping Dick Pope become known for maybe being open to influencers, is continuing these sorts of conversations. Invite influencers in. She's got a whole list of area influencers who will come in and talk about their journey. The other thing though, is you need to know how to negotiate
And
these
more so
deals.
building our reputation as PR professionals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I would
it's
say
amazing.
start within here, who's willing to talk on camera and just start sharing stories.
I've
And
never heard of you. Now say, I've been here since 2013 and that's not a dig.
And that's good feedback, because we need to hear it. Hello, people.
She knows because,
I spoke like 2 or 3 years ago.
and then obviously a member knows, Carol. I'm not blowing smoke up your guys' butt here. You guys have an awesome Rolodex in here.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome people. I mean, you guys are covering the most important companies in our area, the most important municipalities in our area. I literally think you're right. I think you post up a camera and just, who am I and what am I doing? We were talking to somebody about this recently, about their roster. You guys don't brag enough about, as a crew,
Yes, brag on yourselves.
you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
They've heard my preaching. They've
She's
heard
been
my
saying it.
Jordan's in my page, and I've never seen a single thing about this.
Yeah.
Now, that's not a dig on Jordan. If you are not providing, we know this about our entities, and if we were in a for-profit context, I'd say, you're not providing value. In our consultations, it's a value exchange. And in the for-profit realm, we have to unabashedly assess, how do we know? We know that we're doing awesome, cool things, but value is determined by outsiders. Reputation is determined, and so what is the value here? You guys are PR people in these awesome entities, give us insight into that. This little conversation about Lake Wales, I'm not super freaking curious, right? And I think most of the area would love to know what's going on. I heard you talking a little bit about the insider stuff of what's going on and managing whether or not we should be in a parade when we have the title tax professional. That's an interesting dilemma. I'd love to know more about that. If we can talk about it. Not everything we can talk about, obviously. But I think telling your story and your role, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and there's B-roll, like whoever comes in here, get video content of being in here and the people, and then just do like a fun fact over it. It doesn't have to be complicated.
Rotary.
I mean, like they're Rotary.
We were talking Rotary about this exactly.
Yeah, it's like not everything needs to be a testimony or you're talking to the camera. You can come in here and just do a video on your own of your own, and then share it with the Dick Pope's Instagram, and then share a little bit about just what it's like to come into a room full of awesome people and the food and like all the little things. So.
We were invited to we've been doing a lot of Rotary talks for some reason, but then we were invited to the Rotary President's Training out in Tarpon Springs, and we got into this very similar conversation, and we were at it was the Boca Raton Rotary, and this dude walks up to me, he's the head of like all podiatry, and he just lives in Boca Raton as part of the Rotary. I'm like, why don't we know this about you? And there was someone who was head of the Multiple Sclerosis Foundation. I'm like, you guys are awesome people, and the trainings they were doing were awesome. The question, as with anything, is what's in it for me? With them, right? That's what everyone's always asking, what's in it for me? And if we're not telling that on a regular basis, you guys are awesome people, what are you training on? This is what's going on. And it's not just sharing each other's stuff too, because again, people don't care about logos anymore. They don't care. They care about the people. They care about y'all.
And then your personality. Do you have a social called?
Yeah, she's Violet Femme over here.
Fierce.
Oh.
Nobody calls me by my real name.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like you
And
already
that's
have a
the truth
social
of it.
media character going on. Like
It is.
like you're designated. Like that's it. But
Even
you gotta
Lakeland
go.
Electric used it, y'all may not remember years ago when I was working for the city of Barbadale, so they gave me a shout out, and they used my hashtag. I really appreciate it. Yes.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Sometimes a relationship between an influencer or content creator and then whoever they're trying to advertise can be really tricky, especially if that business did not request for a content creator to come. You know, that's kind of how they build up their following is, hey, I'm gonna go review this new restaurant.
Yes.
I'm gonna go review this new store.
Yeah.
I wanna film my interaction at this place. And sometimes that relationship can grow sour of the interaction is not positive. And then they go to their followers and like, gosh, these people were awful. They were so mean.
Yeah.
They didn't say anything. How do then that business or that enterprise come back from that?
They respond.
You have to reply.
Yeah, just like a Google review, and it's like a really bad review, and you're like, oh, and you just let it sit there. It's like, no, share what happened, give some insight, because people read all of it, right? So I would say, and that happens with restaurants, and I don't know, the foodie people that I've known said if they don't like a restaurant, they usually don't share about it, but there's some people who are trying to get clicks and create that, and so.
What's your company?
Oh, we're just the city of Winter Haven.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
we have a lot of people who come and are now coming into our new facility and they're filming and they point out one bad thing and then we get a whole rap. And
So
that's
when we say
municipalities in general, but.
When we say reply, my context for this is Google reviews. You guys know I've been doing websites a lot longer than influencer work. The biggest crime you can commit with your Google business is to not reply. Specifically, you get penalized in the Google algorithm for it, right? And so replying as timely as possible, but here's the catch. You're weaving this thing of, do you have something to own, or is it truly out of left field and made up? This is an honesty conversation for business owners, but also cities. Hey, you know what? Thanks for coming into the new facility. You're absolutely right. The bathrooms weren't finished. We're getting on that. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah,
Sure.
and or greeting people. You see somebody coming in and filming, I would get in front of them and be like, hey, I'm so glad you're here. Are you a content creator? Are you an influencer? People are like, how do you meet influencers? Look for the people with the cameras that are walking around, even if they look nonchalant, you know, they're just like, who is this? I would try to, I know it's probably hard, you have limited people working, but if you were to see that, I would make friends with them immediately, and so that you can even give them a tour, guide them, or whatever that case is, or have an influencer event or content creator event, invite everybody in at the same time,
These
and get
events-
massive reach. That's a really fun one. If you guys ever have events, invite all the influencers that you can, and do a
Even for
fun
launching the BMX
swag
thing,
bag, and boom.
Don't do one. do an influencer event. What she showed me here is, if there's a new salon opening, this is a service that just kind of organically happened. You know, can you bring a bunch of ladies out to the salon, or could you do BMXers?
East or any of that,
It's just like a presser.
Yeah, it's a press event, you just
But
get
you just
massive reach.
and you
Yeah.
hand select those people, and that helps you, there's an assortment of tools like that help you contextualize. Any flaw you know is there, but the truth is, it starts with, this is an exposed world, we're launching a new thing, what are some of our vulnerabilities out here?
Yeah.
They might comment on this, they might comment on that. You have to have those meetings internally as a team and know that this is what's gonna happen, and then have somewhat of a protocol. How do we respond?
You know what's a good one? You reach out to them and say, hey, will you come back in? Because we're actually just worked on this. We want to show you that we did it better, and would you mind coming back in and showing them that we actually heard you, we hear our citizens, our people, and we made it better. There's actually an opportunity there to come back. I've seen that people do that.
They're trying to get clickbait, and so rage baiting everyone is like the thing,
Yeah.
right? And you can't get away from that. But you have this strategy is a really good strategy, because they're like, oh wait, now we can do an official collab. And that's all they're looking for, right?
Yeah.
And so if you have someone who's playing these games, so now if you have someone who just has, an authentic I hated the salad situation, then you can do the same thing
Or
though.
you could do content about the thing and do like an educational
Yeah.
piece, and not even mention the influencer and be like, hey, did you guys know we're still working on the bathroom? But
The worst you can do is hide from it.
yeah, so
That's the worst you can do. That doesn't
I
build
think
trust.
we're out of time now.
Are we out of time?
Yeah.
We're out of
No,
time?
we're not, no, we're not.
Thanks for having us, everybody.
Thank you for.
Thank you
You're
both.
welcome. This is just a weird setup there.